With it now being February 2026, 9 months to go before the midterms, we're starting to get a bit of a clearer look as to how things are standing. And it's both interesting, but it doesn't really deviate from the story overall, which is that 2026 is looking like it's going to be a blue environment, but it's still not yet certain that it's going to be a blue wave, rather a relatively normal flip in favor of Democrats. But of course, it's volatile, and this is basically everything that shows us where things stand at this current moment. So for one, we need to analyze how is Donald Trump doing in now his 13 month in office for his second presidency. Well, it's not that great. It's basically the story is still that Trump is negative about 11 or 12 on average if you average out the polls, and some polls, if you look at data even further, well, you're getting data that shows that Americans are not relatively happy with Trump, and this is primarily due to the economy still being wobbly. It hasn't necessarily crashed, and the recession that people keep saying is coming and is imminent, that still hasn't come, but the economy is still struggling to grow, which of course is causing frustration because the reason he won in the first place was affordability and prices. Well, aside from gas, which has admittedly gone down, it's still kind of things are still kind of expensive compared to 2019. And Trump has even recently started making fun of the word affordability overall, kind of trying to deviate away from it because it doesn't seem there's a lot of ability to grapple with the fact that, well, things are still taking a while to settle. So that's that, but then there's also another problem that has recently plagued Trump's administration and potentially Republicans: ICE. They are not being well liked by Americans, especially recent events in Minnesota that I won't get too much into, but they are very bad optically and just overall, they're just horrible. This is even souring public opinion with Republicans on ICE. So, where things stand at this current moment are not great for Republicans and not great for Trump. So, with that being said, what does this mean for the midterms? At this very moment, there's still a lot of things Democrats have done wrong. They still haven't really managed to connect with the public. They're still struggling to brand themselves well, but they also don't need to if Republicans keep messing up, which is why they've maintained an advantage and are still ahead 5 points on average. This is a good lead, especially in a midterm year, but 2018 was a blue wave and 2006 was a blue wave. It's still not at those levels. So because of this, I still maintain that Democrats are on track to flip the House. Probably, I would say 25 to 35 seats is where I would place the average now, especially given special elections as of recent have proven to be very well for Democrats and Republicans. They just don't have a lot of ground that they're making up with lower propensity voters that may not even turn out in midterm years. So, with that in mind, where do I think things stand? The House blue, the Senate is going to remain Republican, but today I think it would be 51-49. Maine is an open question because Susan Collins has been able to get reelected in blue years before. So it could happen again, but I would still tilt that race blue at this current moment. Now, there is another part of this, which is Texas. I'm not going to touch Texas right now, but right now there is a primary between Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. Either one of them could win because the polls in that primary are really close. Jasmine Crockett would really struggle. I mean, it's Texas, both of them are going to struggle, but Jasmine Crockett, I think she would be facing a -10 environment. I think that Tallarico could make it a competitive race, one that's in single digit territory, maybe, -4, especially if it's versus Ken Paxton. But for now, I'm not going to touch Texas. So this is where things stand. The House looks like it's poised to give 25 to 35 seats more to Democrats, which will flip it blue, and the Senate will be 51-49, which would be a very bad environment for Republicans, but it wouldn't be a devastating loss. However, if you're a Democrat, this looks good for you. So that's where things stand now. We'll see how things play out in these following 9 months.